another night of Wednesday night OWCP chats
with Chris and Gini.
And once a week, we'll be going live now on TikTok. So those of you that are on TikTok, I'm Gini. This is Chris, husband and wife. We do Wednesday night OWCP chats for federal employees. So if you know any federal employees of the people that are on my followers, let them know that this is the place to come every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can get educated on your federal work injury with OWCP.
Now, for all of you TikTok users, it's federal. If you don't work for a federal agency, this isn't for you, but welcome anyways.
Yeah, and you can watch if you want. And then don't forget to share. So everybody that's on, don't forget to share. Don't forget, from October, November, and December, we will be giving away 2 gift cards a month for $100 of your choice to the person that shares the most. And why are we sharing, Chris?
Because you need to share the information with your coworkers. You know, I'm able to give this information to you because you're watching, but your friends and coworkers and your coworkers who are your friends that aren't here are not hearing this. So your responsibility is to let them know what's going on so they can get here next time and get the information they need so they're not lost with OWCP.
Yes. Hello, Tammy. All right. We're going to cover 3 things today. We're coming to the end of the year. We're trying to wrap up things, and you guys are getting injured still. So here's the 3 things. We're going to talk in detail about COP, what it is, and how to file your COP or check it off.
How to get it.
How to get COP. Then we're going to talk about CA-16s and CA-17s. Yesterday, well, we just flew back home just a couple hours ago. We just got here maybe like 3-4 hours ago. Well, we're going to do chats because we tell you guys we're coming up to the end of the year. We were training at the AFGE NCFLL. It is the guys and gals that are working in the mine. Coal and mine workers.
It's a hell of a job.
Yeah, and this is our second time with them. We love being with them. They're just such nice people. They're just genuinely nice. And we had another person say they didn't even, well, not even another person, a few people said they didn't know what a CA-16 or a 17 was or how to obtain and what to do. So with that said, Chris is going to go over everything CA-16, CA-17, and everything about COP and what it is. While I share, you share, and he'll do some housekeeping.
Housekeeping, okay.
And don't forget what we did this weekend.
What?
Santa. Where
okay, I thought you said Santa.
Oh yeah, good old Santa.
All right, so I'd like to just let you know where we've been, what we've been doing, so you're kind of up to date on what's happening with OWCP as it relates to how we're helping you. We were just in Orlando, and in Orlando, we were at a doctor's conference with a good friend of ours, Dr. Mark Santa, who's a practice management consulting guru for a lot of doctors. And so Dr. Santa let me stand up and talk for just like 10 minutes. Dr. Giuliani out of Miami was there. She gave her testimony on how things are going with her in Miami, helping you. And we had 14 doctors who came to our booth and wanted more information. So the whole point was to recruit doctors in new areas where we don't have doctors already, so that, you know, when you get in an injury or you have an injury, you have a doctor to go to. So it was really great. We had 14 new leads. I expect that at least 5 of them probably will sign up with us, but who knows, maybe all of them. You know, there's a lot of factors there, but we're really pulling for them and pulling for you. The other thing is we were just in, we went to Virginia Beach, Virginia, to meet with Dr. Clark. Dr. Clark is our newest franchisee. He's in Virginia Beach, Virginia. She mentioned just now we were teaching that AFGE group, and that was a lot of fun. So that particular group this year has had about 6 hours of OWCP training live for me.
Yep.
And so they're getting very good at it. Their leadership of the union is really smart and aggressive. That's nice. And I was a room full of their stewards. So that was really powerful. But on the way there, we had to stop over in DC, and we got stuck in DC, which has been happening to us lately. Like, we've been getting, this is the 3rd flight that we've had in the last few months where we were stuck overnight someplace. So a lot of early mornings and weird flights, and Then we got back today, but we're glad to be here talking to you. I was glad we got home in time. Everybody go to breakingowcp.com. That's www.breakingowcp, like the title of the book you see here. This is my third book. There are 3. Some of them, the first one is just PDF. The second 2 are still available as PDF, but also as a paperback. And then I've got a 4th book based on your demand that'll be coming soon that is a combination of all 3. Because some people want them all and still have never even had the first book.
Oh, let me tell you something about the books. A lot of you are texting me and say, I haven't received my book. Remember, there's 2 ways you can get the, like the soft cover. Is that what you call it? Paperback. Or you can get the PDF download. And a lot of you are forgetting to click download here. I think Andy fixed that.
He's working on it.
Okay. So we're working on it because a lot of you are messaging me and say, hey, I didn't get my book. It should have been there. When Chris checks it, it's really a PDF. So you could just have it on your computer. You just have to do, I think, 2 more steps to make sure that it just gets downloaded to your laptop or computer or whatever.
But that website has been a constant work in progress all year long. It's still working right now, so you can come there and get your books. But I recommend doing that, www.breakingowcp.com. The most valuable information that's ever been written about OWCP is in those books. And I know it's the most valuable information because almost nobody else has ever written about OWCP. So go ahead and check that out, www.breakingowcp.com.
I'm really wondering what's going on with the algorithm, because before we'd get like hundreds of people on, and now I'm getting a little upset.
Fewer people are watching, so you're all going to have to step up and share more.
Yeah.
We share as much as we can, but unfortunately, we try to share to union pages so we can get the maximum number of people. And lots of the union pages don't want us to. They block us. And there's even one that specifically said that if it's us, don't try. So we don't, out of respect for that page. But so we're going to rely on you to do the sharing so that more people can hear this information. It's too important for you not to have and for you not to share. There's too many people that said, I wish I would have known about you then or when. So we want to prevent that.
All right. So don't forget, we're on Facebook and we're on a bunch of pages on Facebook. It's on our personal page. It's on Federal Injury Center's Facebook page. It's on Wednesday Night Chats and Breaking OWCP. We're also on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and now TikTok.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And I see Scott on TikTok. He said, my favorite people. Thanks for joining us on TikTok. Scott? And so you have almost every possible way of finding us and getting help.
Yeah.
I've made it to where, Twitter, I don't really care about Twitter.
But neither do you.
Yeah. And so I wanted to make sure that it doesn't matter what social media platform you're on, you'll be able to find us and tell your friends. Because even yesterday we got asked, how else can I watch you? Because she didn't have social media. She says, I'm not on Facebook.
So I said YouTube, because anybody can get YouTube.
So you can just tell them they don't even need a YouTube account. They just scroll on YouTube and find Wednesday Night OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini, and you'll find us. And we go live there. And I'll be reading questions from there too.
Victor said you look like Alice in Wonderland. So Chris is Mad Hatter. I'm not mad just because I don't smile, Victor. This is my smile.
I know. Well, Victor knew we were in Orlando last week recruiting doctors, and he's like, mangoes?
Next time, Victor.
All right. So we'll end with where we're going to be this next 3 months coming. So let's get into it. Let's start with CA-17s, CA-16s, and we're going to end with COP. So hold your questions till he's done talking about the first one, the CA-17. Then ask your questions. And then in the meantime, tell your friends and your coworkers.
Yeah, so just real quick. So Nicholas asked, where's the podcast? It's coming, Nicholas.
Yeah, we're getting everything, actually.
We are taking inventory of what we have and what we need. My good buddy, Ron Speakman in Philadelphia, is doing the same thing. So he's been working with me on that. Our friend Kenny Hodge. Everybody go check out Kenny Hodge in Ohio. He's running for president of Ohio, Indianapolis, or Indiana, and
he's
Kentucky.
Tri-State, yeah, Tri-State.
So check out Kenny Hodge, by the way. He's got a great podcast, Hodge to Hodge at Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah.
And but if you just search Kenny Hodge, his podcast is fantastic. It's on Tuesday nights, and it's about OWCP. He's a mail handler president.
Yes.
That is running now for the Tri-State, and I recommend everybody get out and vote. Vote because it's that season anyways.
Yeah.
But vote Kenny Hodge. and check out his podcast as well. But ours is coming soon.
Yeah, and On with Kenny sometime is our other partner, Tom,
Yeah.
who's in Ohio. So he'll do some shows. So you guys should listen to it because Tom gets really detailed about OWCP. And for those of you that really, really want to break it down and have more time to talk,
He does that.
He does that, and it's great. So you should listen every Tuesday.
Yep.
All right, let's get going. Let's talk about what a CA-17 is, where you get one, and what happens when you don't get one.
So we're going to start with CA-17.
17,
okay.
yeah.
So a CA-17 is called a duty status report. If you get an injury at work with OWCP, you're going to need one because this is how your doctor restricts your work duties. Let's say you have to lift 70 pounds and walk 10 miles. Okay, you're a letter carrier, but you injure your knee. Your doctor can write restrictions where you're only walking 2 miles and lifting 20 pounds or whatever you need. So you need a CA-17 for that purpose. The doctor fills it out after your supervisor fills it out, and then they sign it and they give you a copy, or 2 copies, that is, and send a copy into your agency so they have a copy as well. But too many times, supervisors will not give you a CA-17. They think that you don't need one. They don't want you to be out of work, and so they refuse. We teach the doctors a thing that I like to call the black Sharpie technique. If you're a claims examiner, you have no doubt seen the black Sharpie technique in action, because when the supervisor refuses to give a 17, the doctor can't then say, okay, well, I don't have this form, so I guess I don't have to keep you safe today. Well, look, the CA-17 is meant to keep you safe at work, so you don't go there and do the same stuff you were doing to get hurt again. Or to get hurt worse. The doctor wants you to get better. They don't want you to get worse going to work. So a CA-17 prevents you from going to work and getting worse, getting hurt worse, lifting things you don't need to lift, walking too far, walking up and down steps, or whatever is required to be restricted. So the doctor uses a CA-17 to restrict your duties. But too many times the supervisor won't give you the CA-17. And so what do? The doctor, like I said, can't just say, oh, well, you don't get to be safe at work. That's your problem, not mine. Instead, we have to do something about it. So we go to federalinjurycenters.com. The logo's on the page here so you can see it, Federal Injury Centers with an S on the end.com. And you can go to the OWCP Forms tab. Well, in that tab, we have a CA-17. Now, it's not supposed to originate with us, but your supervisor didn't do his job. So what are we going to do about it? Well, we print our own. And we say, while this should have originated with the agency, it didn't, and I still have to restrict your duties. That's your doctor talking. And so they just turn the CA-17 onto its side, and they grab a black Sharpie, and they write on the CA-17, supervisor refused to provide a CA-17. Why do they do that? Well, it's not to get your supervisor in trouble, although, as I just said at the AFGE meeting, if that happens, I guess it's a bonus. Maybe stop screwing around with the people. But that's not the point. The point is when you send in a CA-17 with side A blank, what you're going to get is somebody asking, why is side A blank? Well, you didn't want it to be blank. You wanted the supervisor to do their job, but they didn't. So you told the truth in advance. You said, this is blank because they refused to provide the form. But you still need it, right? So your doctor filled it out. Usually when this happens, and our doctors will use a black Sharpie, they don't care. Because, hey, don't pull that crap anymore on our people. But after that, they'll typically not do it again, and instead they'll just provide the form. But the alternative is if your doctor is not in the mood to be a jerk like I like to be, they'll grab an OWCP 5C, which is another form to help you help describe your restrictions, your limitations to your supervisor. They can use the OWCP 5C as well. But what I prefer is the 17 with the black Sharpie that supervisor refused to provide. Again, not trying to get them in trouble, but if that happens, that's okay with me. What we're trying to do is prevent them from doing this to you again and from doing it to your coworkers. So the other thing, though, is that when your claim's not accepted, they're going to say they don't have to give you a CA-17. Yeah. And they don't have to offer restricted duty, or limited duty. They don't have to. That's probably right, but it's also immoral, in my opinion. They should give it to you. They shouldn't make you stay home and, fight for your job like that. You didn't ask to get hurt. So when they refuse to give you a CA-17 because your claim's not accepted, then you'll have to use that OWCP 5C because at some point it won't matter if we use a black Sharpie or not. So you got to do what you got to do. But you also have sick and annual leave. You have Family Medical Leave Act. So there's a lot you can do so that you can be off of work and protect your job.
Is that it?
That was
The
a start.
end.
There's probably questions.
Yeah.
I'd like to answer those.
All right, let's see. Kimberly in Tallahassee, hello. Rich Ray. Sheila said, I'm back.
What's up, Richie? What's up, Sheila?
Tanya says, I sing your praises all day and all night. You're my
Tanya.
favorite people.
We love you, Tanya.
Tana? Oh, gosh. Tanya. Victor, I will see you at the Tampa APW seminar. Yes, you will.
Now, let me stop there because I want to address this next one, too.
Okay.
So, Victor, yeah, we appreciate that. While I'm in this break in the action, I want to say a special thank you, not just to AFGE, but because AFGE always trusts us to do the training, and we appreciate that.
We love everybody there.
But APWU has really stepped up for its members in a way that I've never seen, actually, any union step up for.
And the mail handlers, those two.
Well, look, just because I'm loving on APW doesn't mean I hate mail handlers.
No, I know, I'm just saying.
What I'm saying is recently the APW has asked me to come and teach lots of times in lots of different venues. Anywhere from a few minutes to 3 hours, and so it's been really nice. And so Victor is part of APW, and so we appreciate Victor being here. But they're going to have us out in Tampa in a couple of weeks, a couple of months, or something.
December.
And teaching a class out there for OWCP in Tampa. So we're really excited about that. And also,
we actually are going to a training on Tuesday in Orlando.
Yeah.
We're going to be in Orlando Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to a training for APW in Sanford with President Rob Rios that invited us.
It might be the vice president.
No, he's up.
Okay, we got it mixed up before.
And then Tuesday, we're going to be hanging out with Eric, chatting with Eric. And then Eric Blowers, yeah. And then on Wednesday, we are actually going to be at AFGE's BOP little get-together they're having. So they invited us out, so we'll be there as well.
So that's just a get-together?
Something, I can't remember.
So the thing is, I keep telling everyone, don't hang out with the BOP group unless you want to have the time of your life, because those guys are serious about having fun. And ladies, we were at a place and this dude volunteered, a prison guard, volunteered to get tased. And right before the tasing lady hit the trigger, I heard him say, I love this stuff.
Yes.
What? You love this stuff? And then like 5 minutes later, dude was out like he never got tased.
Crazy.
This is who you want guarding people.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's getting past this guy.
And they're all like 10 feet tall.
Oh, yeah. It's a bunch of linebackers and defensive ends. They all
don't
work
want to
there.
mess with that.
A few offensive tackles, but all these people could work for, work in the NFL.
All right. Summer said,
Hold on. Whoa. I'm sorry. Not to.
What am I doing?
We're going to get to Summer. So Judy's on here.
Oh, hi, Judy.
And Judy, we want to give you a special thank you. We got your gift in the mail.
Oh, my gosh.
Delicious. Thank you. We wanted to say thank you already, but truthfully, we don't have any good excuses. We left
on our trips, so thank you.
Yeah, and our kids in this house love sweets, and so they really appreciate being able to stay diabetic.
Ever has to send us anything.
Yeah, nobody has to do that, but thank you. That's super sweet. We appreciate you, Judy.
Summer said, curious, how would FMLA come into play with the CA1 that I recently filed? Should I apply and have the doctors fill the paperwork?
Yeah, so the deal with FMLA is that, when things are getting tough and you're starting to worry about how do I protect my job, Family Medical Leave Act does exactly that. I mean, it gives you like 120 days off a year, I think, where they have to protect your job. So that's what I like about it. It doesn't guarantee you get paid, but it guarantees that when you use it, they have to protect your job. So that's when I say FMLA. So when you're somebody that needs that, you have your doctor fill it out.
All right. Aaron said OWCP 5C or CA17 with Sharpie is an amazing tactic.
Yeah. And again, Aaron, I appreciate that. And look, I don't want to use a Sharpie. I talk big about the black Sharpie technique. And of course I'm happy to get supervisors in trouble. That doesn't bother me at all. If they get in trouble, they did that to themselves. I didn't do it to them. But that's not what I want to do, because instead I want to have a nice, working relationship with management where they're doing the right thing for you and you're doing the right thing for yourself to get back. But too many of them don't do the right thing for you. And so what are we left to do? Whatever it takes. I always say, you don't sit at the red light forever. It doesn't turn red. What are you going to do? We're going to run it. So sometimes the black Sharpie is running the red light. You have to do what you got to do.
Phyllis. So we're talking about CA17s right now. Phyllis, I'm going to come back to your question when we get to the CA16. Aaron said, Victor is easily one of the strongest unionists I've ever had the pleasure of working with in solidarity. Keep the fight.
Keep fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Aaron,
God, how sweet
he
is.
Yeah, we look at Victor that way too. And the thing with him is like, he's always like on guard. This dude's always at attention. I mean, I don't know how somebody can be that awake and alive at all times, but
and
he
he's
is.
so much fun.
Yeah, and he's definitely a lot of fun. He's a nice guy, super nice guy.
Renee Marie, how are you?
Hey, what's up?
She said, sent to second opinion doctor in August. I just received notice that this doctor is apparently putting me on permanent restrictions. How can that happen without being placed at MMI and having the 6th edition testing?
Well, so Renee, the deal is your restrictions and your maximum medical improvement are not necessarily the same thing. You can be on permanent restrictions, but maybe not be at MMI. Those are both medical decisions. And so you'll have to just discuss with your doctor, hey, doc, what's your rationale here? Why do I have permanent medical restrictions, but I'm not an MMI yet? And you'll have to get the doctor's answer on that.
Yeah.
Nobody but the doctor can tell you
that. Muva T, I need you to message me so I can fix this.
So what she said is one of our offices asked for health insurance. That's against our rules. And so we're going to be talking to that office and make sure that doesn't continue to happen. Sometimes there's new people and they make mistakes because they ask for insurance, for everybody else. I'm not saying it was just a mistake, but what I'm saying is it will be an isolated incident that we'll put a stop to.
Yeah.
Thanks for the feedback.
Thank you. We have Melissa from the Federal Injury Centers of Roscoe, Illinois on.
Hey, Melissa.
Joining us on YouTube. We have Bailey from Federal Injury Centers of Gulfport, Mississippi on from the Jernigan Chiropractic Clinic. So there she's on. Let's keep moving.
Sorry about that. I needed a fan. So here's the deal. These people come on. They're our franchisees or they work for the franchisee. And they come here to, and many of you have heard me say this before, but they come here so that they can hear what you're talking about, what matters to you, what issues you're dealing with. For us, it's a constant state of training. We're always training the offices. So we have them come on so that they can see what you're talking about too, because that's another training point. But when they come on, if it's somebody that you want to go see, just go to federalinjurycenters.com and check the locations tab, and you can go to the state and then to the city alphabetically and find them.
Yeah. Maria Portal said, you don't need FMLA for a week, correct?
Well, not necessarily, Maria, but I'll tell you what, some people feel more safe when they've got something that protects their job when they are out, because, you all know your supervisors are really harassing you and trying to push you to get back to work prematurely. Yeah, I was just at that AFGE group, and I said it a couple of times, what I've told all of you before. The surest way to get paid is to clock in. So we definitely want you to go to work. We want you to clock in because they can't prevent you from getting paid anymore. When you clock in, you're not going to get a letter in the mail saying denied. You're just going to get a check.
Yeah.
So that's the deal there.
Hello, everyone on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook pages. Hello.
Let me just ask, who's following me on TikTok? I've got this breaking OWCP page, and I'm still trying to get used to it. And to be out here the way we are, live video, funny TikTok videos, or TikTok videos that maybe I'm the only person in the world that think is funny, or whatever. Pictures, we take shots of ourselves from, airplanes and, whatever else, because we practically live in the airplane and in hotel rooms. But who's watching us on TikTok? Who's watching me on TikTok? I hope you like it. If you're not, get a TikTok account. Be careful with it because it is addicting. It's like, it's this whole world of education and entertainment and humor and all kinds of stuff. Like you can experience all your emotions on TikTok, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
I once spent, when I was just trying to figure out what to do on TikTok, I spent like 8 hours one weekend. My phone died while I was on TikTok. So, but then I kind of figured it out, like what other people are doing, and decided what I wanted to do there. And so I'm starting a series on just helpful information.
Yeah.
And, like I have one on there that is the rules for choosing your own doctor. I'll have one for CA16s that we're going to talk about again in a minute. So go there for just quick little tidbits of information that I'm giving you. It's a short form video format, which is pretty cool. We can be on here for an hour or 2 hours, but when I'm recording a video on TikTok, it's 15 seconds to 1 minute.
Yeah, so it's real quick, and he'll just be maybe putting some rules, laws, and regulations you can go on there.
But having fun with it too.
Yeah.
Having fun with it.
All right. Are you folks familiar with ECAB?
Yeah, sure, Jill. Yeah, we're familiar with ECAB. We just try not to go there. Like our friend, the lawyer, Eric Blowers, he says, you really only go to ECAB when there's a question about law or procedure or something like that. We try to just avoid it and just win. We want to get claims accepted without ECAB. I had a lady that heckled me on LinkedIn once and like, oh, you think you're so great, you're so smart. Tell me what you know about ECAB. And I said, well, what I know about ECAB is avoid ECAB and just win up front. Why do you want to go to ECAB? Just win. Like, just get the claim accepted right up front. Why not write a narrative that gets the claim accepted? Why do you want to go to ECAB and let someone else decide if your narrative is good or not?
Yeah.
Write a great narrative and make the claims examiner have to say yes. So that's what we do. We make the claims examiner have to say yes. And then when they say no, we go again. And the claims examiner must get our narrative, our reconsideration reports. They must get those reports and go, shit, I'm going to eventually have to say yes. Eventually I'm going to say yes. And, it's true. They're going to have to say yes. This year, we've got over 880 approved claims this year.
It's probably more.
Well, it's over 880. It was 879 last week. So it's definitely more already. But just this year, okay, I mean, nearly 900 accepted claims. My point is the claim examiner is going to eventually say yes. Okay. And so they probably look at our reports and go, oh, I've seen these before. They all look just like this. I'll bet you this is as good as the last one I saw. I better just get ready to say yes. Because that's what we do. Now, we get denials, but we go again. We do reconsiderations and go again, but we don't go to ECAB. Could I tell you about ECAB? Yeah, I can. But what I like to tell you about ECAB is avoid it by winning. Just get your claim accepted.
Yeah.
Which I know is easier said than done if you don't have a doctor in your area. But look, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to put doctors in all the areas so that you don't have to deal with this crap anymore.
Renee said, if you open a new location closer to us, is it difficult to transfer our records over to the new location and continue treatment?
No, ma'am. It's simple. It's probably just like 2 clicks because it's all electronic. It's no big deal at all. We can definitely handle that for you.
I knew that was Victor that said that TikTok is for young kids. I am young.
Well, Victor,
46 is very young.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is great, but it doesn't make me old.
Rich Ray said, I can't keep up with all the apps. Rich, get on it. You're on there too.
Yeah. Hey, seriously, Rich, get a TikTok video. I would watch your TikToks, okay? I will follow you.
Rich with his cute little smile.
I will follow Rich to the end of the earth.
Watch Victor. By the end of next year, Victor's going to have TikTok.
No, he'll be on TikTok watching me about next week.
Carol said, can you explain if your limitations listed on your CA-17 refers to the whole 24-hour day or just a time at your work regarding how many hours you can walk, sit, etc.?
Yeah, I hear that. So here's where this comes into play more often than I like to talk about. But someone will have a restriction where they can't drive, right? Because they're a carrier or whatever. And they can't drive as part of their job because it's not safe. And then so the doctor will say no driving. And the supervisor will try to be smart and say, well, how do you get to work? You have to drive to work, don't you? Well, the answer is no, you don't have to drive to work. Okay, taxis can drive you. Uber, Lyft, your brother, your wife, your husband, somebody else can drive you to work, a train. Maybe you ride a bike. You don't have restrictions on your CA-17 where you can't ride a bike. There's nowhere on there that says, can you ride a bike? And I'm not telling you to ride a bike. I'm just saying, how does your supervisor know how you get to work? So does it cover your whole 24 hours? It's for work restrictions. The CA-17 is for work restrictions. And then the next thing they'll do is they'll follow you to the grocery store and say, oh, look at this. That bag's probably more than 5 pounds. They're carrying a bag. Well, you have to eat. What do they expect you to do? Starve because you have an OWCP claim? It's ridiculous. So don't let them bully you around. If your supervisors start pushing you around with this, file a grievance.
Okay.
I'm a little fired up tonight.
Wanda Schmidt said, if I wanted to retire in March, do I have to do it all online or can I just sign the papers?
I'm not an expert in how you do retirement. So if that's what we're talking about, I really can't answer that. However, if you're talking about, do I file a work injury claim before retirement? You go to eComp, that's online. And definitely do it before retirement. If you wait till one day after you retire, they'll never approve it.
We have Christy O'Neill, one of our girls in the Federal Injury Centers of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So she's on. She said, happy to be here.
And we're happy to have her. And
yes.
So the Oklahoma City office is new.
Thank you, Christine.
But that office has, I think, a killer instinct. So you're going to be very happy there. If you're in Oklahoma, you're going to be super happy with our Oklahoma City Federal Injury Centers office.
Yeah. Maria said, it's sad that workers are afraid to go to work or file a claim. So sad. I encourage workers to do the right thing and the correct thing. We hear this, and when we do our union trainings, Chris will ask this question: how many stewards in here know people that are hurt, but they're scared to file, or they're,
everybody raises
retaliation? They all raise their hand.
Yeah.
Like, it's so sad. It's sick.
But I've got lots of slides in my presentation I do that shows you how to stop being scared so you don't have to. Oh, look at that. Autumn Burns is on. Dr. Burns.
Hey, Dr. Burns.
Dr. Burns is with Dr. Lee and Dr. K. They're in the Tampa Bay area. Dr. Burns, we're happy to have you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. She is an incredible woman. She can write these claims, or she writes narrative reports like a pro.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to get a claim accepted in the Tampa Bay area, this is where you go. So you go to federalinjurycenters.com, check the locations tab, go to Florida, and then check the locations. But if you're in the Tampa Bay area, we've got 3 really, really fantastic locations. They're getting like 70% of their claims approved already. It's an incredible result.
Jill said, DOL closed my case after 10 years and I'm still waiting for a new.
So I'm not sure what the new meat, but DOL closed my case after 10 years. Cases get closed all the time. You have lifetime medical benefits. So as long as the claim was ever approved, you can get it reopened. The doctor may have to write a letter of medical necessity explaining why it needs to be reopened, but closed cases can always be reopened. Don't worry about it.
Hello on TikTok. I see people coming off and on. Don't read that.
I want to just see it. Hold on.
If you who's on TikTok, go follow me on TikTok. It's under Gini Helms. Okay.
And Aaron, thank you very much. So Aaron's on here and he's really singing our praises.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that. Your name, I keep seeing it because my son's name is Aaron. So like when I see it, it's like it just stands out. Thanks for being here, by the way.
Rhonda said, I have a retina detachment and surgery and very little vision in the left eye. I'm a rural letter carrier. Who do I go to start federal disability and HR?
Okay, so there's 2 things you have to do for federal disability. And I'm not a doctor, so I can't like tell you if you're ready for disability. But if you know you are, this is what you do. You need a doctor who can review your records, do an evaluation, and write a narrative report explaining why you're disabled and how it's related to being a federal employee. Disability is not just due to a work injury. It can be due to anything. Okay, it can be due to developing an illness while you're on vacation that had nothing to do with work. But when you have like detached retina, that's awful, and it must be terrible for you. So you need a doctor who can write that narrative report after a thorough evaluation and review of your records. And then if that is denied, you have to do this through the Office of Personnel Management. And in the process, you are required to file for Social Security. You're not required to win Social Security. Okay. But if all of this fails, you're going to need a lawyer. If that happens, just come back to us and let us know, and we can tell you how to find a good lawyer.
Okay. I know there's a bunch more questions, and I'm going to go through them and answer them. Dr. Woywood is on from San Antonio, Texas. Go Spurs.
Okay, so we ignore the Go Spurs part because I'm a Mavs fan, but outside of that, Dr. Woywood is in San Antonio. San Antonio is an awesome place. If you're there and you're looking for a doctor, that's your guy. So again, you go to federalinjurycenters.com, check the locations tab, scroll to Texas, and then alphabetically hit San Antonio, and you can find the phone number and address to Dr. Woywood. Thanks for being here.
Aaron said, so amazing to see this have developed to become a key resource for federal employees. Proud to call you both sister and brother. Chris, keep the fight. Jeannie, keep him honest.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Okay, so let's keep moving, but we'll come back to your questions. Let's go over what a CA-16 is. A lot of you still don't know what a CA-16 is, never heard of it. And even people from the past that are over their OWCP claims and are filed in the past and didn't know, now they're finding out and they can't believe they're just finding this out. So pay attention on what a CA-16 is. And those of you that are on TikTok, if you're a federal employee, just join us here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. So when I'm training on this, and this just happened in Virginia Beach, I said, who knows what a CA-16 is? And thankfully, there's 3 or 4 people in the room that raised their hand, which is more than normal. Most people have never heard of it, or at least don't claim to have heard of it. So the next thing I'll do is I'll say, and the same thing for schedule awards, I'll say, well, who knows what money is? Who knows what money is?
Oh,
money.
That's my money.
No, I hid this from you. I hid it from you so I could have some. But money is a CA-16 pays your medical bills for 60 days after a CA-1 work injury. So if I told you there's a way for OWCP to pay your bills starting on day 1, would that be something of interest to you or something of great interest to you? I mean, obviously of great interest. How many of your own medical bills do you want to pay out of your own pocket? The obvious answer is nothing. And that should be the answer. You shouldn't have to pay anything when you get a work injury. You didn't ask to get hurt. You are a federal employee with federal benefits. You deserve all the rights that are afforded to you as a federal employee. Well, one of those rights is a right to get a Form CA-16. The CA16, if you have a CA1 claim that happens in a single shift, and if you report that injury within 7 days of the date of injury, which everybody should report it the day of the injury. Nobody should wait. When you delay, you're in trouble because you're delaying and losing valuable benefits. And the first benefit you lose by delaying more, if you wait for more than a week to report your injury, is you lose the benefit of being able to have all your medical bills paid for by somebody else. So when you have a CA1 claim, an injury that happened in a single shift, you report today, right away. And people say, well, gosh, I'm worried about what my supervisor is going to think. So again, everybody repeat after me. I don't care what my supervisor thinks. Now, I like more colorful language when it comes to this. I don't give a rat's whatever what my supervisor thinks. I don't give a hit.
A rat's.
I don't give a truck. I don't.
Okay.
I just don't care. And you shouldn't either. Because in the end, your supervisor is sleeping like a baby at night. The baby that they are probably, but they're sleeping like that while you're suffering. And you don't have any way to pay your medical bills because you didn't get a CA16, but you want to get better. All right. So demand a CA16. I just told a group of stewards that, I'm holding you responsible. It is your responsibility now to make sure that your members get CA16. So all the stewards that are watching, the presidents, the vice presidents, all the union reps, it is your job to make sure your members get CA16s. It's the fastest way for them to get back to work. If they're worried about how to pay for medical bills, they're going to delay getting help. If they have a CA16 for 60 days, they'll get help without money coming out of their own pocket. And then if your claim never gets accepted, you'll never have to pay back the money for the CA16. It never has to get paid back. So you need to have a CA16, and supervisors either play dumb or are dumb. And so they act like they don't know what a CA16 is. They don't know where to find one. They've never seen one, or they think you're not hurt enough to need one, at which point you do what I just told the group in Virginia Beach, and you tell the supervisor, please show me your medical license. How do you know I don't need a CA16? How could you possibly know how badly I'm injured? Well, you're not grimacing. Well, I have a high pain tolerance. Whatever. You don't owe them an explanation. Give me a CA16. And so the rule says that you have a right to get a CA16 within 4 hours of the claimed injury. So not only are they required to give it to you, but they're on the clock. If you go to www.breakingowcp.com and go to the free downloads tab, I've got a form there for how to request a CA16, and it includes the law that the supervisor needs to know that says they have 4 hours to give it to you. And then you put them on the clock because it says what time did you request it and what time did you receive it or get it denied. Denied. So we put them on the clock, and then you use that form for a grievance. Okay. If they don't give it to you, file a grievance. And all of you have to start filing CA16 grievances. This form is here to prevent you from going broke.
Yes.
So get the damn form. Okay. Some people will say, well, I don't want to rock the boat. Rock the boat. Turn it upside down. Capsize the boat. You need your CA16. Okay. Otherwise, your boat gets capsized. You can't afford to live if your medical bills are thousands of dollars. What are you going to do about it? So you need a CA16. What questions do we have about that?
All right. Rich Ray. I have to say, Rich is like the cutest, most adorable union president ever. He's just so sweet.
I'm glad she said union president because I'm like, I'm not the cutest, most adorable.
No. So
Rich is pretty damn cute.
Yeah, he is. It's like a little teddy bear, but this is what he said.
Love you, Rich.
Yes, we do. Another approved claim from Manhattan. Dr. Shockey and Dr. Bart are amazing people. Jeannie, Chris, thank you. Thank you. You are helping my people more than you'll ever know.
He said thank you 3 times, but we'll go with 2.
Oh, sorry.
No, you know what, Rich? I really appreciate that. We love accepted claims, and I reject denied claims because they should not get denied. If a claim gets denied, something went wrong, we have to fix it. And don't allow a denied claim. That's not your final answer. That's a start. But we do want to win up front. But thanks for that, Rich. I'm happy. We keep batting 1,000 for your folks.
Yeah. Dr.
Snowden in Oklahoma City is here. Again, Dr. Snowden is a straight up killer. When it comes to OWCP, he is not going to stop till he wins. So if you're in the Oklahoma City area, or if you're just in Oklahoma, that's who you call. So you go to federalinjurycenters.com, you check the locations tab, you scroll down to Oklahoma, and you find the one office we have, Oklahoma City. That's Dr. Snowden. Go check him out. By the way, he was referred to us by Dr. Cooper in Atlanta, Forest Park, Georgia. So we really appreciate the referral from one doctor to another. It's growing our network of doctors for you with people we want to work with and we want you to work with. So we're happy to have Dr. Snowden with us.
Oh, before I forget, because I will forget. Okay, when you guys are calling and messaging me about offices and things like that, fine. However, we don't have any specialist on our list. When we tell you that we have specialists, it's our doctors. So because we don't deal with
Our
their
doctors build relationships.
yeah,
with
they build
specialists,
relationships, but we don't have orthopedics and neurologists and
psychiatry.
all of that. We don't have any of that in our offices. So when I send you a text and I say, where are you located?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, okay, call one of the offices there, because all of our offices refers out, but I don't know them anywhere. We don't have any list of that. The only list we have is our locations and our schedule of ward doctors. That's it.
Yeah, and the other thing about that is when you're looking for an orthopedic surgeon, it's not that you don't necessarily need one. Maybe you do, but you're premature. What you need is somebody who can get your claim accepted. If your claim's not accepted, the orthopedic surgeon wants your health insurance and they want your copays and your deductibles. So we get your claim accepted so that the orthopedic surgeons don't ask for money.
Yeah.
So you need an OWCP doctor. It doesn't mean you don't need surgery. Of course, you probably do if you think you do, whatever, or you don't. But our doctors will know if you do, and they'll make appropriate referrals to surgeons who want to help you.
Right.
Okay, and we'll get your claim accepted. And the same thing goes for lawyers, by the way. I'd like to see less talk about lawyer up.
Yeah.
There's very few reasons to need a lawyer in OWCP. And you all know that we're big fans of Eric Blowers. We love Eric. Eric's a good friend of ours. But Eric will tell you, you don't always need a lawyer. Many times you just need a doctor. And the lawyers, most of your problems are because you couldn't find doctors that knew what they were doing.
Right.
And Eric's going to say, did you call Federal Injury Center? So that's what you need is a doctor. And you don't need a lawyer for every little thing that happens. This isn't personal injury. Okay. You can't sue your agency. What you need is to get your claim accepted. And that is done with a great narrative report written by a doctor.
And another thing too, I know it caused a lot of commotion on Wednesday night chat's post, which is good. It's a good commotion. So I told you, if anybody didn't get a call yet from Eric or you still need him for help, message me. A lot of you still think if you get a denied claim, you need an attorney. And somebody told me today in a private message that I was telling Chris, and I even told this to Eric today, that I told him, no, you don't need an attorney. You could file your appeal, file reconsideration. They said, no, that's not what my supervisor said. So I'm just going to listen to my supervisor. So I said, okay, well, what's the sad part is some attorney's going to take their money when they really didn't need to take the money. And Eric will say, I'm not going to represent you for a denied claim when you just need to file a reconsideration.
Yeah, and when I was just at the in Virginia Beach at the AFGE meeting, I told them about this, that there are people that come in and they say, well, my supervisor disagrees. I'm going to do what they said. So here's what I told these folks live. What kind of fool would you have to be to go with your supervisor who doesn't care about you and you do what they say over what I do, what I tell you, and I do care about you? Why would you go with what your supervisor says over what I say? I mean, really, your supervisor is not qualified to carry my bags in OWCP. So why do you think you're going to do what they tell you to do in OWCP? They're not looking out for you. They're looking out for themselves. They don't want to have to fill open spots because you're out of work. They don't want to have another ding on their record having somebody with a work injury. What they need to realize is they didn't make you get hurt. The job made you get hurt.
Yeah.
So they don't have to prevent you from getting help. But that's what they're doing. So anytime you say, well, I'm going to listen to my supervisor and not you, man, you did that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself.
Maria said, if a CA1 COVID file online and you're not at work, how would you get a how would you get a CA16 with that in that time frame?
Okay, so if you're not in the office and you need a CA16, you can have somebody work as your representative. I'm thinking steward. Okay, get a union steward to go get your 16 for you. Yeah. Someone can do this on your behalf. That's what you do.
Phyllis said, if my CA16 from the nurse is okay.
Is it okay if the supervisor hasn't completed everything on the e-comp? Still says pending supervisor review. Supervisor left for 30 days. Okay, you need to go to your supervisor and say, hey, Jack over here left for 30 days, but you have 10 days to get this in, and we're on day 9. Get your job done. And you're going to file a grievance if it's not all submitted within 10 days, because that's the rule. They have 10 days to submit your CA1, CA2 from when you report. They have 10 days, and it doesn't say 10 days unless your supervisor goes on vacation. All right. Your boss has a boss. Go to that person.
If anybody has a supervisor named Jack, please let me know.
Yeah. I mean, I know what his last name is.
June said, my claim hasn't been denied. but I've been waiting since February, March to get an injection approved before a possible repair surgery. Even after a case nurse, how can I get this moving and get some treatment?
June, great question. So here's what Eric Blauer says, our lawyer friend. Eric told us to tell all of you to write letters to your claims examiner and e-comp it. You're not getting a response, so e-comp and say, hey, what's the status? What's going on? I need this treatment. What's happening? Why am I not being approved? And then they're required to respond to whatever's in writing on e-comp, so do that.
Okay. Carol said, I had a shoulder injury 20 plus years on the left, went back to work 100%. Finally.
That's awesome, Carol. I'm glad you're back to work.
Aaron said, as an attorney, I can wholeheartedly say you really rarely need a lawyer. OWCP is an administration risk pool. It is literally intended not to require any sophisticated legal assistance. Only the most complicated cases truly needed for formal representation. As a former national staffer for several unions, our movement is well suited to help folks through the process without attorney's fees.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And thanks for that, Aaron. So that's the truth. And in fact, the unions all have people that can represent you. That's what we love about the unions. It's a shame. I think we love the unions, many of them more than they love us. But I'm the first person to say there's a line here. And on the other side of that line is your union. And they have to help you now. They've got to go to bat for you. And we know they can. We get invited out to meetings by union presidents, union reps, stewards, vice presidents, right? So they trust us, but some of them don't. I don't know what the problem is, but we love the unions. And I will tell you that the unions have representation for you.
Yeah.
You just have to go seek it out. And a lot of people say, well, I don't know who my union reps are. My response is, do you ever go to meetings? Are you involved? Get involved, know who your reps are. So you know who's got, who can be in your corner when you have a problem. I appreciate what Aaron said. Aaron's a lawyer. And, it's not that we don't love lawyers. We do. There's a time and a place for everything, including lawyers. But not everything is lawyer up. That was my whole point. And especially with unions. I mean, thankfully, you have them, and you damn sure have us.
Okay, I'm going to answer a few more questions. We just finished covering the CA16, what it is, where to get it. And the next one's going to be COP. So for the COP, get a paper, get a pen, because a lot of you always ask the same questions and you're just not understanding it. I do the same thing too. But it can get complicated especially because you're looking at it like foreign language. So let me get through some of these questions and that'll be the last thing we touch. Carol said, part 2. Now I have an injury on the right, permanent limitations. So I've been using my left arm more and it's now hurting again. Do I reopen an old claim or is that a new claim contingent upon my right side?
Okay, so Carol, you're describing what sounds to me like a consequential condition. In other words, because one thing happened, the other thing started happening. I have this one injury as a result of overcompensation. The other thing's happening now. It sounds like a consequential injury, but I'm not a doctor. You need to go to your doctor and explain the situation and say, hey, is this a new CA1, a new CA2, probably a 2, or is this a consequence of the old injury? At which point they'll add one shoulder to the other and have both shoulders on the same claim. But that's a medical decision. That's not something I can make for you. It sounds like a consequential condition, though. Sounds like.
Yeah. Maria, I know OWCP, especially with your injury from day one, it's absolutely complicated and frustrating and it gets confusing. So
that's why we do this.
We try to help as much. Chris did the books to even put it in black and white, how to do it. You have all your resources within your union, go to the union first before you guys come to us. If we're here to help. We're just here to assist all the other unions out there.
That's right. Just real quick. Tanya Ferry's on TikTok. And she said, I found TikTok. Look, everybody can find TikTok. Come to TikTok, find TikTok, but definitely go look for Breaking OWCP on TikTok. I'm having a good time there. So
when you guys are needing help, it doesn't have to be confusing. If you still don't understand it, we're always a phone call away if nobody else can help you.
Yeah.
So you guys know. June said, my injury was November 29th, 2021, 9/2022. They sent me a CA 1032 asking for my income info for previous 15 months. I have received, I guess she says nothing.
Yeah. They just want to know like where your income's coming from. So they make sure they're paying you right. Their thing is they don't want to overpay, which whatever. That's what they're doing though.
Darlene said, I was enrolled in an accident 12/27/21 and they took my sick leave.
Okay, so if you're in an accident and they took your sick leave, you have to get your claim accepted. Once it's accepted, you can do leave buyback.
Yeah, and if you don't have an attorney, let me know. Kara Small said, okay, response times for submitting CA7s for DOL and HR for USPS and DOL decision codes for CA7.
So response times for CA7s, your supervisor has 5 days to turn that in to the claims examiner once you submit it to them. You need to make sure you submit all of your documentation to make sure that you can prove that you need to get paid. Come back to it. And HR, look, they have 5 days. So that answers that question. And DOL decision codes. So here's what I've heard. I saw a letter from a claims examiner that said to turn your CA7s in every 2 weeks. They want to see them every 2 weeks unless you're on, the roles, they don't require you to turn those in. But as long as they're requiring you to turn them in every 2 weeks, your supervisor has 5 days to submit once you submit it to them.
We have Dr. Cooper on.
What's up, Dr. Cooper? He's always here. He's in Forest Park, Georgia. You can literally see the airplanes landing from his front door. Dr. Cooper's awesome. If you've got an issue, you need help. He's in Forest Park and basically Columbus, Georgia, Phoenix City, Alabama. Everyone loves Dr. Cooper, and you will too.
Yeah, so I'm going to read what Aaron said, because this is going to start our COP topic now. He said, COP is amazing if you do it right.
Yep.
Absolutely. So this really pay attention, guys. We don't delete the videos. They're all on here, except the one on TikTok. They don't save live videos. So you can always find it on YouTube or here. So let's get started with COP. What is COP?
I have no idea.
Why do you need COP?
I'm just kidding. I know everything about it. Okay, so COP first stands for continuation of pay. You are eligible for COP if you report a CA1 claim within 30 days of the injury. Again, there are too many people that just say, maybe I'll just get better, and then they use the rub some dirt on it technique. But then they don't get better, right? Or they don't get all the way better. And so they're still hurting. But now they think, okay, now I need a doctor. I'm going to go ahead and report my injury. Well, it's been 31 days. You no longer can have COP. So what is it? COP is 45 days of time off, up to 45 days of time off. It's calendar days. So if you need time off, you have up to 45 days of time off if you report your CA1 claim within 30 days. Now, I tell everyone the CA10 form, what a federal employee should do when injured at work, it says at the top of the page, report as soon as possible to your supervisor. Well, yes. As soon as possible is ridiculous. It means something different to everybody. As soon as possible to her is different from me. If I tell her I want to eat dinner as soon as possible, I mean I want to eat right now. And her answer is, well, it'll be ready in an hour and a half. That's as soon as possible. Well, then I'm going to eat my hand, because as soon as possible is now for me, and I'm hungry. Well, it means something different to everybody. So as soon as possible, what does that mean? Forget that. Report now, right away. The second you get injured, report. That way you don't lose your CA16, because you have to report within 7 days to get that. And you don't lose COP because you have to report within 30 days to get that. So you have to report within 30 days to get your COP on a CA1 claim. And you can have up to 45 days of time off without using your sick and annual leave, without having to use FMLA, without having to go back and do leave buyback later on. If your claim is approved prior to the end of your COP, no problem. Excuse me. At that point, COP ends, and you start getting paid by LWOP if you need to be out of work. At no time should you have to use sick and annual leave. That's the whole point. Now, the problem with COP is that if your claim is ultimately denied, they can demand their time back. So let's say that you're somebody that got 45 days of time off, and you get a demand letter saying, you owe us some money, you owe us time. They're going to go and they're going to pirate your sick time. They're going to pirate your annual leave, and whatever's left, they're going to take it out of your paychecks. And that's not fair. And like I was just saying, I can put not fair on every slide I teach, but it is what it is. So we have to figure out what we're going to do about it. So the number one thing you have to do about it is get your claim accepted. Now, you do that by going to an OWCP doctor. That's why we train doctors. We train doctors all over the country. I think we have like 23 states with doctors now. And if you're in one of those states, it's in your best interest to go to one of them, because we will fight like hell to get your claim accepted. We'll never, ever give up. So you need that. If your claim is ultimately denied, meaning you go through appeals, and in the end they say, it wasn't in performance of duty or whatever, then you'll owe it back. So there's a danger there. Except this. In all of my time doing this since 2007, I've never had a single person pay back COP. So that's a clue, right? We get the claim accepted, you don't have to pay it back. So I was just talking with Eric Blowers prior to this, and he wanted me to mention this one thing, that what if you're coming up on a pay raise? Like the end of the year is coming up now, and you're going to be due a big pay raise. Now, I don't know if you're going to or not, but you do. And if you are on OWCP or getting COP, you're not going to be eligible for the new pay rate if you're not working during the new pay rate. So Eric said you may, and it may be in those instances in your best interest to use sick and annual leave for the time being until the raise goes into effect. At that point, your COP base will be based on the new higher rate. So I thought that was interesting. It's not something I had thought of before, but it makes sense. You want to get paid at the highest rate possible. So if you're 6 months or 9 months away from a raise, this is not an issue probably for you. But if you're 6 weeks away from a raise, it might be. And this is not me telling you how to manage your bank account or how to manage, your time. But it was an interesting thing because some people don't realize if they would have just hang on for just a little while, their COP and all their OWCP could be paid at a higher rate. So that's something interesting. I'm positive that since I just threw that at you, I'm going to get a bunch of questions about it. And I'm still kind of wrapping my head around it. But if Eric says it, I like to say it too because he's a smart dude. And I like this point. But what you need to know about COP is that it's 45 days of time off unless your claim gets accepted earlier. On a CA1 claim, it's box 15. You select letter A, continuation of pay. If your supervisors don't pay you COP, but you're owed it, you need to go to the second page of your COP or of your CA1 form and look at box 35, I think it is, or 36, whatever. It's the last question they ask them. And the question is, if you intend to controvert continuation of pay, state your reason why. Well, I mean, read your CA1 forms. Don't you want to know if your supervisor intends to controvert continuation of pay? And by the way, controvert means you ain't getting paid, right? And that's not what we want. So take a look at that. Be sure that you know what's going on. If they don't pay your COP, which is rightfully yours, file a grievance.
Kimberly said, I have been out with an approved injury with many work restrictions since August 2021. And I have been denied COP because of the original ER diagnosis. However, my diagnosis has been changed since, and for some reason, the Department of Labor will not make that change, and I'm going broke. No pay since the injury. Can you help?
Yeah, almost certainly. But what we're going to need you to do is send us a message so I can have somebody get in touch with you. We have people that their job is to help you and to train our doctors. So I'll get somebody in touch with you and have them work through this with you so we can get you help.
Maria said, when we get the CA16, who gets that?
Okay, so good question. Your supervisor's got to fill out the first page or somebody that's authorized to do so and sign it. You take it to your doctor. The medical doctor fills out page 2 and signs it, and that goes into the claims examiner like documentation. I always tell our doctors to give you a copy of everything, though, so be sure you leave with a copy of your CA16.
Ashley Long said, my claim hasn't been denied or approved. I was injured in July, got a letter asking for more information, resubmitted doctor's diagnosis and statements in September. Haven't heard anything since. Should I keep anything since?
Should I keep waiting? Is there something I can do?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you can do is, and I started this off in the beginning and you may have missed it, write a letter to your claims examiner and e-comp it and say, hey, what's the status of my case? What's going on? I've done these things, like everything you just said to me. Put that in a letter to the claims examiner and have them respond to it. They're required to respond to whatever's e-comped in writing, so do that. Also, go look at your case file that's on your e-comp account and see if the letter is there, see if the claims examiner already responded and you just missed it somehow.
Donna said, what if Department of Labor denies a claim and OWCP through the NRLCA won't help file an appeal? They've taken all my AL and SL.
What if Department of Labor denies your claim and OWCP through the rural carriers won't help file an appeal? They've taken away my annual and sick leave. Well, if they deny your claim, we go again. Donna, I don't know where you're located. Maybe I should, and it's just slipping my mind. But you need a doctor who is willing to write a reconsideration report so that, if you have a denial, we have to go again. We have to do a reconsideration and fix it. That's the number one thing. You have to fix it. If they're taking your annual and sick leave, once you get your claim accepted, you'll be able to use leave buyback to get that time back.
You didn't breathe when you just said all that. You reminded me of Andrew Tate.
Oh, thanks.
Adam Leonard said, I was diagnosed with carpal tunnel a year ago. Can I still file for workers' comp?
Yeah. So you have 3 years to report an injury. So if a year ago you found you have carpal tunnel as a result of a work injury, you still have 2 years to go. I recommend tomorrow you report your injury and you go to eComp and you file it on eComp. And it's ecomp.dol.gov. That's how you get there.
Audra said, my office absolutely messed up COP. I was approved and they didn't pay me for weeks and refused to answer me. They said I had to use my sick leave first. I asked 4 different union reps and I'm yet to hear back. Messy situation.
Well, it sounds like a lot of people made mistakes there, and I hate that. If you need some extra help, send us a private message so we know how to get a hold of you, and we will. Excuse me, I let Gizmo in because he was digging on the door, and now he's digging in the carpet. He's trying to get to China again.
Oh my God. Alicia said, I haven't accepted claim and haven't gotten a dime of wage loss. My CE shut all my CA7s down.
So haven't been paid at all. Is a claim approved is my question. I have an accepted claim and haven't gotten a dime of wage loss. Okay, so if you're not getting paid on an accepted claim, we have to find out why you're not getting paid. So typically, if you turn in a CA7 and they don't pay you, they give you a denial letter. Like if you're trying to get your claim approved, they deny that. So we have to see what they said so we can fix it. Usually it's because you didn't also turn in the proper documentation to get paid.
All right. We're going to listen to what the attorney Aaron has to say. He said the only COP payback I ever saw was a TSO prior to unit certification who was hurt due to the negligence of the airport. The COP helped her avoid homelessness, and she, in good faith, thought it was a covered injury. COP payback was washed by damages from the airport's resulting tort for negligence. In the end, she went for 1 day before medical retirement after returning to work, with all her leave preserved and cashed out on retirement.
Awesome. Yeah, so the same experience. We're just not used to you having to pay back your COP. We're used to just winning.
Gizmo, what do you have to say?
Well, that was him that said that.
Oh, yeah. Darlene said, I sent mileage reimbursement and they said it has been over a year. Payment denied.
Yeah, we want to probably go again on that. I've never seen a rule that says if it's more than a year, you can't get paid on that. But hey, attorney Aaron's here, so I'd love to see what Aaron thinks about that.
Jill said, I was fired during my COP. Looks like I'm winning my job back, but my MRI was denied, and then I just gave up healthcare. Boss was demoted, etc. He's not a winner.
It doesn't sound like he's a winner, but if you need imaging, you can also use your health insurance and get that done. If you're in an area where one of our doctors are there, we typically have imaging centers who work with us, and we'll do it without charging you.
Kimberly said, thank you. What do you need from me?
Well, we just need you to give us a call so we can talk to you, and then we'll know from there what we need to see, and we'll tell you.
Darlene said, love all your books. Can't wait to see book 4. You both are amazing. Thanks for all your information.
Well, thanks a lot. And yeah, everybody just keep an eye out for that. Go dig to China. Book 4 is coming out. So what I did is so many people ask me, can you just combine all 3 books? And so this is book 3. Okay. And I've got a book that I've already completed. I'm just waiting on a quote from the printer because it's very expensive to print these books, especially at the volume of books I want to print because all of you want them. So I'm waiting to get that back, and then I'll have it available at breakingowcp.com. But in the meantime, book 2 and 3 are still there as paperback, and you can still get all 3 as PDF. And I actually prefer you to get them as PDF because I want you to save them to your phone because everybody puts their phone in their pocket. Everybody's phone is always on their person. And so I want you to have the book in your phone because your phone is in your pocket, and this book will not fit in your pocket. It's the smallest book I could print. But if you put it on your phone, you can have it in your pocket. So you will have effectively Breaking OWCP in your pocket.
Mary said, same here, no pay. Instead, finished all my leave. After that, 0 is my pay. What are they doing over there?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but you need to find out. You need to talk to your claims examiner and your supervisor and your union rep and say, what the hell is going on here? Yeah. You need to get paid.
When is the San Diego office opening? Sorry if I missed the info. Sorry.
It's opening soon.
So if you guys want, you can always call the
Go ahead.
You can always call Dr. Hawkins in Redondo Beach, and she'll be able to tell you because she's the one opening that office.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. So I always put the doctors that are coming soon, and I tell you guys that it's coming soon. So watch for those posts. Jolene said, I fell 13 steps at work on the clock about 7 years ago, and now my knees are hurting very bad, probably needing surgery. I did file when I fell 7 years ago. Can I file again for this injury? If so, what would I file? A CA2?
I fell 13 steps 7 years ago. Now my knees are hurting very bad. I did file when I fell 7 years ago. Can I file again for this injury? If this is the same injury, we probably get it reopened. And if your knees are a consequence to it, this is really complicated, but it's an easy problem to solve once you know more information. Your doctor may decide that this is not related to the old injury, and it's a completely separate CA2. That's why I'm hesitating. It could be a completely separate case, or it could be related to the old one. And your doctor will know best by evaluating you. And if it's part of the old case, then it's a consequential injury, most likely, unless it's a diagnosis expansion because it wasn't approved in the beginning, but it should have been. So you can see there's 3 different ways this thing can go. And without an evaluation, there's no way you will know that for sure. So go talk to your doctor.
Alicia said, my lawyer and myself have requested an expansion on my case. The CE had a claim closed by the administration and told me he would add it later. Now he's ignoring the request completely.
Well, I'd be very surprised if he's ignoring lawyer requests. So let's see if your lawyer can do more to, get their attention. Typically, it's not my experience that claim examiners will ignore lawyer requests.
Okay. So far, that's all the questions. I'm just going to hop on over to LinkedIn and YouTube and see if there was any questions. All right. So we covered the CA16, what a CA16 is, how to get one. We covered the CA17, what it is and what needs to be filled out and what happens when you don't get certain things filled out. And then we just covered COP.
Continuation of pay.
We know this is these three, the 2 sheets, 16 and 17 are always, people get mixed up with it and don't know about it. So please tell your coworkers if they have an injury on a CA1 to get a CA16 or help them get one. And then on the COP, if you still don't understand, come back to the video. We have past videos as well where we went over it. Probably before the end of the year, we probably might just do a live with COP so we could show you some stuff. Because yesterday, Chris, when he was doing the training for the mine guys, he had it up on the board and it made more sense to them. So we're going to do that for you guys as well.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to say before we go, and you can go look for other questions if you wanted to. While she's doing that, I want to tell you this. I was mentioning this to the mine workers yesterday, that the majority of people that I find that their lives have just spiraled out of control financially. You can point to this one thing that happened that ultimately led to the disaster financially. And that one thing was waiting to report an injury. Too many people care too much about what management thinks. Too many people fear retaliation, termination, etc. Too many people have the rub some dirt on it technique where hopefully this thing will just get better. I'll just try to ignore it until it just gets worse or it doesn't get better at all. The result of that is missing valuable deadlines that are 7 days and 30 days. So the majority of people that I've seen whose lives have spiraled out of control did not get a CA16 and did not elect COP or didn't have the opportunity for 16 or COP because they waited too late to get their claims filed. Everyone pass the word around. You've got to file your claims today. As soon as possible is today. It's now.
Yeah.
The soonest possible time to do anything is now. And if you want to protect yourself financially, you need to have a way to pay your medical bills and you need to have a way to get paid to be out of work at that time. Your medical bills can be paid for 60 days. You'll never have to pay it back. And you can be out of work for up to 45 days. And as long as your claim's accepted, you won't have to pay it back. If you go to a doctor like Federal Injury Center's doctors who know how to get claims accepted, you won't worry about this. And by the way, we don't care if you have a CA16. I couldn't care less. You can go to any of our offices and don't bring a CA16 and we'll welcome you in and we will not ask you for money or your health insurance. We'll treat you for free until we get the claim accepted. But other doctors won't do it. So you need a CA16. Imaging centers often don't want to help you without a 16. Surgeons will not help you without a 16. You can present a 16 to an emergency room and they won't even know what to do with it. So that's a problem. You have to tell them what to do with it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if you don't have a 16, you don't have a way to pay bills. If you don't have COP, you don't have a way to get paid to be off of work. And that combination is deadly financially if you don't have it. And the majority of the people that I've seen that their lives have just spiraled miserably out of control didn't get a CA-16 and didn't get COP because they reported their injuries late. Don't report late. Report now, like right now. And if anybody's mad at you, screw them, okay? Because they're sleeping fine tonight. Who cares what they think? Report your injury right away. And if your supervisor says, well, you can't report your injury, well, you know what? There's two middle fingers coming at you because all I got to do is go to the internet, go to ecomp.dol.gov and do it myself. You can't do anything about it. You're going to get an email. Now you have a decision to make. Are you going to fill this out and turn it in on time or not? And if not, I'm going to file a grievance and you're going to be in trouble because I'm also going to contact OSHA, 1-800-321-OSHA, and say, hey, do you think it's a safety violation that my supervisor won't let me exercise my 6th employee of right, according to OSHA, which is a right to report a work injury? See what's going to happen.
He's fired up just a titty bit. All right. There's some questions on YouTube. Joe said, we'll be making another strong push before the end of the year to get more clinics trained and schedule awards. Unfortunately, it's a lot of work for the doctors, but it's very much needed.
It's a minimum of a 72-hour class. Imagine going to medical school, going to chiropractic school, going to school to be a nurse practitioner or PA, and you got like $200,000 worth of bills or more, and it took all that time. And now I'm saying, okay, just 3 more days. And to me, that's no big deal, right? I would do 3 days worth of education without sleeping. But for them, they're like, oh my gosh, Chris, I've done 8 years of education. I got to do 3 more days. So we're working on it.
Yeah. So, so when it comes to California, we're working on it. Just check back with our Redondo Beach office and our
Thousand
Oaks office, and just call every once in a while and see if they brought somebody on board yet. So, when we might get the same time the notice that you do. Alicia said my MBA started ignoring me.
Oh, well, I don't really have a response that makes any sense on that because that doesn't make sense to me. Why would anybody start ignoring you in the union?
Ms. Kennerson said, who fills out a CA1, the supervisor or the employee on ecom?
Both. So you fill out the first page, the supervisor fills out the second page. It's always been that way. It was that way when it was on paper, but now it's going electronically. So you fill your part out, you enter your supervisor's email address, and they receive the email, they do their part, and then they submit it.
She also said, have supervisors refused to fill out the CA1? They said do it yourself on ecom.
Well, okay, so I always say they're either playing dumb or they are dumb. They probably just are. So you're going to have to show them the rules. So on my website, just so you know, breakingowcp.com, I've got a free download tab. And there's another one that will help you report your work injury. It's a form that sort of tells your supervisors the rules. Or as I like to say, we're giving them the what for. So we give them the what for on a piece of paper. Just hand it to them and say, this is what I'm about to do. They'll get to see the rules, and it'll give them a moment of pause before they tell you can't report your injury and they're not going to help you.
All right, let's see. If you have any more questions. Okay, so once the live is done, or anytime before or after the live, it doesn't matter. You can always just go to the messenger and Wednesday night chats. Or if you have me on just my personal page, you can message me. Just find me anywhere.
That's a good one.
Yes, you have 3 years to file your claim.
Answer, Darlene. So she said, if I have more questions, how do I message you on Facebook?
That's what I was just telling you.
Oh, you were just answering that? Just then?
That's what I was saying.
I didn't hear a word she just said.
This is what I deal with.
I was reading something else.
I need help, Victor. Let's see. Thank you both for everything. You too, from Emma. Good night. Thank you, Emma, for being on. Siobhan said, if my original case causes injury to my opposite knee, what form do I need to fill to add that injury to my case? Well,
so there's no form if it's a consequential injury, which is what you're asking about. Your doctor just has to write a narrative. We call it a consequential injury report, and it explains how the new condition is a consequence of the old condition.
Yeah. All right. What's in your red cup, Siobhan?
Oh, it's empty. There's just ice in there, Siobhan. That was a tricky question. You know what I do? I make sure it's empty before somebody asks me. There's nothing in there.
I don't know why he's just sucking on air.
All right. Well, anyways, hey, look.
Hold on. So don't forget.
Oh, I thought we were done.
No,
I'm just going to
turn
this thing off.
Wait.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Oh, I was like, On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to be in the Orlando area, meeting with Eric Blowers. On Monday, Tuesday, we're going to be at the union meeting for APW in Sanford. And then on Wednesday, we're going to be joining the Bureau of Prison folks down. It's between Orlando and Gainesville. It's one of those. Coleman.
And when is that Miami thing we're going to?
And then, please hold. Then we're going to be going to Miami from the 3rd through the 6th.
3rd of November.
Right? Yes.
November? Yeah.
That's going to be our last month where we're recruiting doctors. Again, another group that we got invited.
But this is a fun group.
So,
it's called the Black Diamond Club, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a group of really just kind of high-powered doctors and other people, actually. Yeah. So it's kind of a room that I'm excited to be in. But I like doctors that are like all in. By the way, we met with Dr. Clark last night in Virginia Beach. So he's new. You're not going to see his stuff on the website till they're all the way full of finished training. But Dr. Clark is like, so I have a thing.
Nice guy.
So I'm a non-violent guy. I'm willing to do violence, but I'm not a violent guy. That's not my point. He's a killer. And I just said I'm not violent. When I say he's a killer, I mean this guy is like all in. He's ready to just, to fight.
Like
whatever it takes. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
What do I need? Who do I need? Whatever. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then last week, he thought we were going to be there last week, and he came in. He lives 4 hours away.
Yeah, he drove 4 hours.
He went 4 hours to meet us last week by accident, and then showed up again last night. So this guy's like dead serious. If you're in Virginia, in the Virginia Beach area, keep an eye out. When this guy's listed on the website, he's going to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Your claims are going to get accepted there at a prolific rate. I'm really excited about having Dr. Clark on.
Yeah. Oh, we just wanted to say a huge thank you to, oh my gosh, I'm blanking out. Anyways, I want to say a huge thank you to those of you in Virginia Beach. I'm blanking out on the names. I can't believe that. And thank you. Oh, Mr. White, the president down there, and not Casey. Is it Casey? Casey. Yeah, for inviting us there. I'm so blanking out. I just want to say thank you again for having us come and educate your stewards. And we are done after the ones we already have down with the 2 APW meetings and the Coleman BOP stuff. And then going to Miami. We're pretty much done with our travel. We're going to be starting again in February to travel. We need a couple months off to relax at home.
We need a vacation. So we've stayed, I did the math on this. We've stayed in hotels this year. 1 out of every 3 nights we've been in a hotel room.
Yes.
So just imagine 1 out of every 3 nights. It's like 2 nights a week all year long.
Yeah.
And then some, right?
Yeah.
And, like I come home and I just think, do I really live here? My dog remembered me, thankfully. Ellie just gets so excited when I get home. She almost still pees. But she's like, Dad, you're always gone. Welcome back. But yeah, so we're just glad to have a little bit of time off, or we're just driving to places instead of flying.
It's local in Florida, so we're happy.
And the more I fly, the more I hate to fly. Anyways, that's a whole different story.
So we look forward, if any of you stewards are on here from the Sanford area and APW with Mr. Rios' group, we want to say we're excited to be there next week, and as well for the Coleman prison event that's coming up. We're really excited to be there, and that's it for this week.
So Ellie wanted to say hi. Everybody say hello to Ellie. She's a good girl. She'll only eat you if you try to talk to me. She's like, nobody gets to talk to my daddy without my permission, and nobody has her permission.
Yeah.
Say hi. You say hello. Oh,
Attorney Aaron, thank you for being on.
Yeah, we appreciate your participation.
Appreciate that tonight.
Come back.
Come back anytime. Rich Ray is always on.
We love you, brother.
So don't blow his phone up either. I mean, he is an NALC local union president in Staten Island. He's willing to help answer your questions if you're having a hard time. So you can go there.
Yeah, but you can all come here. It was really great being able to get back on and talk to you tonight. We made it home in time to do it. So thanks for being here. And for being live on TikTok. For everybody that was on TikTok, thank you. Go to Breaking OWCP on TikTok. While you're at it, you're already on Facebook, many of you. Do me a favor, go to my Breaking OWCP page on Facebook and just hit the follow button. I really appreciate the follows. My Breaking OWCP page is also on Instagram. Follow it there too. You can go anywhere and just put at Breaking OWCP and you'll find me. So please do me a favor. Just go hit the follow button in all these. I really appreciate your support and you being there so that I'm not talking to an audience of zero. So anyways, thanks for being here tonight. I hope this was educational and it worked for everyone. If you have any other questions, send us a Facebook message. We're happy to help.
Thank you. Our dogs, yeah, they're our babies. We won't be on live next week because of the three things we have going on. We don't know what time we're going to be done. I will do little pictures and little clips here and there of what we're doing. So stay tuned for that. But we will see you the following week. Again, don't forget to share, like, follow, subscribe, whatever you do on TikTok and Instagram.
And tell your friends. Just tell your friends. We really appreciate it.
2 winners for this month. Okay, we're going to choose 2 winners for $100 gift card each. So you can do whatever you want with it.
Yep.
With that said, everybody, we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a good night.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Go ahead. Oh, TikTok.